Hello and welcome to this week's module. This week's module is on offenders that can cause weight fluctuation. Now this is a topic that constantly comes up and I feel we're better getting a good understanding of it straight away, and with some people who've maybe done this before, it's better to reiterate the fact that your weight will fluctuate up and down like a yo-yo. So in this presentation what we're going to do is discuss reasons why and what happens, the reasons it happens, and why you should calm down if your weight goes up a wee bit. So let's get started. Now, daily weigh-ins can be frustrating. They'll go up and down and it can pickle your brain. But what I'd like to show you is when you do this, it's indicating that a lot of it is water retention or water loss. Now, when you're doing it each day, ask some of you to do a weigh-in each morning, the same time, and check it. The reason I get you doing that is to understand how much your body can hold on to water, it can let go of water, but also understand the different elements that can come into this. When you do this and you do it over 7 days, you can add it up, divide it, and you can take your weekly average, which would sometimes surprise you. You'll also see that sometimes you're changing £2, £3 of difference, sometimes in the one day, from day to day. That will happen as well. Now, again, we're going to break this down even more. But what I'm trying to say to you is it's always looking at a weekly average or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's not just by going, well, yesterday I was this weight, but today I'm this. That must mean that thing that I ate yesterday had so much fat on it and I've gained hundreds of fat. No, it's not the case. So let's start breaking it down. You drank a lot of water. Natural. A lot of people will. You will keep your water going, maybe like carve your hunger, because you maybe think, I'm just going to put my hand in the biscuit jar just for the sake of it. When you think, could I just actually have a glass of water? Maybe that would actually make me okay. These type of things will actually cause weight gain. The more water you drink, yes, if you're carrying more fluid in your body, it will naturally make your weight go up. But let's make sure you understand this. Your weight and everything is not down to just fat. It's down to things like your muscle, your bones, your organs. All these things weigh. So when you're on the scales, understand these weigh as well. So if you're consuming more water, then yes, if you're retaining it, it is going to naturally go up. It's not a bad thing. Do you know how sometimes when you see like boxers or MMA fighters and they've got like a bin bag on and they've got like a old 80s shell suit on and they're skipping in a bathroom just to push the water out of them? It's because they're going in for a weigh-in, and what they're trying to do is get rid of as much fluid as possible, so they're sweating it out of them. So when they weigh on the day, they'll be like a lot lighter. You know what I mean? They won't be drinking, there'll be wee small caps of water they'll be taking, and that's the thing, it helps with their weigh-in and it dries them out. It's the same, I did the bodybuilding show and I did exactly the same thing. I wasn't skipping in a shower, but I was taking things to dry out my system. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I was using. I was using white wine. I was hardly having any water. Small caps of water I was taking. And it was helping me because I was moving. I was trying to get into the lightweight category, and that's what I had to do. It's hellish. And could you imagine living your life like that? No. So I understand that water can have a massive effect on your weight. You went out for dinner? And what? You went out for dinner. There's nothing wrong with that. Understand when you go out for dinner, a lot of places, a lot of restaurants, a lot of like cafes, a lot of takeaways will be higher carbohydrate content and salt content. So understand that. Now understand that a combination of these, the carbs will store more water. Now, there's nothing wrong with going out for dinner. When I'm saying you used to go out for dinner, and if you are cutting, make the smarter choices. But jumping on the scales the next day after having some fajitas, yeah, your weight probably will go up with the sodium content, your carbohydrates. It's fine. Chill out, enjoy your meal, and just understand that it will yo-yo up and down, but you need to eat at the end of the day and you need to enjoy your life. So there's nothing wrong with going out for something to eat. You had a tough training session. Now, this is great. You're training very hard. You maybe find you're lifting heavier. You're in a gym. It's a sweaty environment. You'll be consuming more water. Water will be getting consumed to help build and repair your muscles. The blood will be engorged into the muscles. You weigh yourself the next day. Shit, I'm heavier. It's fine. Understand that a very, very good training session will do this. Also understand that usually after your training sessions, you will be consuming more water. You maybe be taking like a pre-workout, you maybe took your water in your protein shake, you're maybe taking BCAAs, you're maybe taking whatever, God knows what else you're taking. Calm down. But understand that you will be taking more water. If it is a gym environment, you always find you consume more water as the heat in there, right? So understand there's nothing wrong with doing a heavy lifting session, but understand as well, the next day, your weight might fluctuate up. You did a tough cardio session, or better go and jump on the treadmill, because sprints is the best way to like cutting. Fasted cardio, bollocks. Look, see, the end of the day, you're doing cardio, it will spike your weight up a wee bit just because of the volume that you're going to be consuming, maybe water, you're dehydrated, and also it can cause an increased volume in blood. Now, that's absolutely fine. Remember, when you're doing your cardio sessions, yes, a tough cardio session is fantastic. It's great to push that hard. It's really good to test the body. But there's nothing up with walking as well. So when you're out walking, you'll naturally consume water as well. These type of things will all have effect on your weight. Don't weigh yourself straight after a training session. I've seen people do this. Don't. It's pointless and it's daft. Just go in, enjoy your training session, and do what you have to do, and get home. You had more carbs than normal. That's fine. And again, we talk about everything on a weekly average. If you've consumed more carbohydrates on that one day, say it was 40, 50 grams, then what you would look at doing is spreading that extra that you consumed that day over the course of, say, the next 5 days. And you would add an extra, you would take away 10 grams of carbohydrates over the course of the 5 days, but then would take you back on your weekly average. The other thing is people will say, yeah, I'm doing a low carbohydrate diet, I'm keto. Piss off, right? Just piss off. See, the thing is, when you go on these low carbohydrate diets, it's one thing, you will not naturally consume as much carbohydrates, meaning you will not retain as much water. What will happen with these type of fannies is they'll end up craving carbohydrates and they'll end up going back up. Their weight will spike back up the minute they start eating a natural amount of carbs back in their nutrition or their diet. So you need to look at that as well. Carbohydrates are the majority of everything, right? And carbohydrates, one, make you smile, right? I love them. But what I'm trying to say is if you are going lower carbohydrates, yeah, you probably will drop a bit more weight because you won't be retaining as much water. But understand that if you're on like a 40%, 50% split on your MyFitnessPal or your Hungry, there's nothing wrong with that either. Do you want to have a low carbohydrate day, maybe one day out of the week? That's fine. Understand though, next to your weight might go down, but the minute you start eating them again the following day, then it will fluctuate back up. You're on new medication. Now, I'm not a doctor, but what I'm trying to say is all different types of medication can make your weight fluctuate, higher, lower. It can actually gain weight. It's all these different types of things. What you need to do is, one, consult with your doctor, ask them these type of questions. If they've not answered your question, read the back of the packet. Do not go and John Google because it'll probably tell you you're dying. So what to do is make sure you're reading everything, understand it. But this can be part of the reasons why you find your weight will be going up. So ask these type of questions, dig deeper before you start flinging your toys out the pram. You need a poo. Now, this can happen, and it's one of the awkward conversations you have as a coach. I'm quite comfortable asking people now because this is a common problem. What you would normally find is your client is retaining and they've not had a regular bowel movement, and say they've not been for 2-3 days, then that saying you're fully shite is actually true. They are fully shite. So you need to look at the nutrition. Now, a big thing, as I keep talking about water, is making sure you're drinking enough of this, right? That will help regulate your bowel. The other thing you hear me ask is your fibre content. You'll see some coaches out there that just bung your fibre right up and they're like, oh, you hit this high fibre diet, because they just want you to be shitting everything out that you're basically consuming. There's nothing wrong with having a high fibre diet, but also you need to watch as well is if the fibre content is too high, then you will be shitting quite a bit and you need to rein it back in a wee bit, right? So have a balanced amount of fibre. Look at all these type of things, but understand that if you haven't been to the toilet in a couple of days, then that is going to bring your weight higher and higher, and you probably will find that your weight keeps creeping up, and then when you do that massive poo, you'll be lighter. your period's about to start. Now, this is again something I've dealt with over the years, and dealing with a lot of female clients is having that conversation with them. Now, it can be awkward. I usually just say to them, going to tell me when it's your magical time of the month, because one, if it's coming to their measurement time, you'll find that a lot of females bloat around their midsection. The other thing is as well, their weight will spike. Some women will spike up dramatically. Some won't move too much. It really depends on their body. Now, what you need to understand is when it comes to all this, is looking at all different factors. If you're finding your menstrual cycles everywhere and it's playing with your head, part of the reason I always do measurements is because of this. You do your measurements because you will be coming in, you'll see changes, and if the weight is constantly fluctuating up and down, up and down, up and down, then doing measurements is a fantastic way of gauging where they're at, if they're coming in the right areas, how's it going, when it comes to the point where you're going, my weight's no shifting. Is it really? Because look at your inches, you've dropped 4 inches off your waist. I think you're doing well. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because it can play with your mind at the weight when it comes to your sort of magical time of the month. The other point is always look at measurements. They really, really help. It's the weekend. I wish I had that song that it's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? That is literally what happens though. It becomes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what? Because it becomes Monday and you're like, what the fuck has happened to the scales? Because they went right up. And that's what's happening. What you'll find is people are great. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's Friday. Here we go. You know what I mean? And that's what they start looking at things. Oh, just have that wee family pack of crisps. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been good all week. Saturday, you want to go for breakfast? Oh, that sounds quite good. Your mate phones you. Do you want to go for something to eat? Or maybe your partner's like, kids are in bed. Do you want to get a takeaway? All right then. Sunday, your ma phones you, or your granny phones you, or your mother-in-law, I don't know. Do you want to come down for a Sunday roast? Aye, all right then. But all these things add up, and that's what I'm trying to say to you, is looking at it and going, when you look at your weight on the Monday and go, holy shit, like that's quite a bit higher than what it was normally. It's because of that. It's because of that song. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what? And that's what's happening with your Monday. So understand that. Understand that the calories still count at the weekend. Understand that you should still, if you're on your first sort of phase of this, track and understand, what am I consuming? Look at my calories in that. I'm in a calorie deficit. Have I trained hard enough during the week? Do I actually not even deserve it? Can I work this takeaway into my nutrition? Great. If you can, fantastic. You'll still be coming down. If you have been a fanny Friday, Saturday, and then a Sunday you go and boot the tits out it again, then no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's always looking at it and working it in with your lifestyle. Don't do a Monday to Thursday. Do your days that you need to do. Hold back what you need to hold back. Enjoy when you can enjoy, and make sure you're training. Your weight was down yesterday. So you drop your weight and you go, this is fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I've just dropped 2 kilos. I'm out. So then you go out and they go and do something, or they go to binge the cupboard and they do stupid things, right? This naturally happens with people. They'll look at it and they'll say, oh, I've dropped £2, so I can do what I want. Do what I want. No. Your weight can fluctuate down, can fluctuate back up the next day. It's just having that understanding that just because you've dropped £1 to £2 yesterday does not mean it's going to be the same the following day. So don't put the tits out it. Other thing is, because your weight has went down and it's maybe not went down as much as you wanted, don't be disheartened either. People saying to me that, oh, well, do you know what? Janice was at Slimming World the other day and she dropped £6 in 1 week. Right, okay. What size is Janice? Do you know what I mean? Compared to you. And what calories was Janice consuming? And see with Janice, like, what was her natural calorie intake? I mean, was Janice spanking 5,000 calories a day? And then all of a sudden now, Betty, the Slimming World coach, just told her just to start doing this and that. And all of a sudden, she's still booting the tits out it, in your view, but she's actually only consuming 2,000 calories now. So that's why. So she's in a 3,000 calorie deficit compared to what she normally does. Have you thought about that? These type of things all come into effect as well. So just understand that when your weight goes down, it doesn't mean you go and party. Your weight comes down, fantastic, mark it down, but let's keep on the steady path. So there's some different scenarios of why your weight goes up and down. Your weight can be an absolute pain in the arse, right? And it is, and it can be disheartening. It can fling your head everywhere. But understand, if you are tracking this and you're tracking, if you psychologically can cope with tracking it every single day over a period of time, then we can add it up and divide it and give you your weekly average. If you can't cope with that, then look, understand, photos, measurements, all these type of things have great effects, and they don't need to play with your head as much. You don't go into a shop and say, I am X amount of kilos or stones. You don't. You're a size, you're a medium, you're a small, you're a large, you're an extra large, you're a 10, you're a 12, you're whatever. You're a 30 waist, 32 waist, 34 waist, 36 waist. I don't know, right? But what I'm trying to say is that is one of your best measurements. You try on the pair of jeans. Did they fit you? No. Are they fitting you now? Aye. Well, clearly you've dropped weight and you've dropped inches, right? So look at it in that way. Also look at ways like, is that top fitting me now that never used to fit me? Aye, it is. And you look great. Your photos, you marry them up. Are they comparing better? Brilliant. Now, when you do your first photo and you do it in 4 weeks' time, will it make a dramatic difference? Probably not. Know what I mean? You'll see small changes. Over the period of 90 days, yes. Now, what would happen as well is, sometimes it's after the 90 days, it makes bigger differences as well. It's about keep going. Everybody is at different stages. Do you know what I mean? One person at one size is not going to be the same as the other one. Somebody maybe feel they have more body fat to drop compared to the other person. Remember, everybody is on their own journey. This section in this module is just to explain how weight will fluctuate. We're going to talk about a range of different things, but just get that understanding just now that one day you'll be heavier, one day you'll be lighter, but it doesn't define who you are. Until next time, ciao.